This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. And I wish for everyone a fantastic and a safe day. Today is November 26, 2022, and in the news, Gabrielle King's mom now liable for arrest, says police. The police say they will attempt to locate Leon Issa to enforce a court ruling that she granted them access to her phone as they investigate the murder of her 9-year-old son, Gabrielle King. After twice refusing to comply with the court order to provide the password for the phone, Leon Issa is now liable for arrest, lawmen told the news on Friday. What we will be doing now is to make contact with her and to follow through with the orders of the court, head of the Police Area 1 Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers said on Friday afternoon. At this point, she can be arrested for breaching the court order. Thursday was the latest deadline missed, and Leon Issa's attorney, Chukwuemeka Cameron, indicated that evening that she had given him the go-ahead to appeal the court's decision to grant access to her iPhone 13 Pro Max. On Friday, Cameron doubled down on those comments but would not say whether he will file the necessary paperwork. However, ACP Chambers said that the police have not been served with any legal documents to indicate that an appeal has been filed. The police have indicated a desire to analyze information on the device as part of their investigation into the killing of Leon Issa's autistic son. The court has ruled that she must comply with the request for her password. She is not allowed to be present while her phone is being analyzed by experts, but her attorney and a technology expert may observe the process. The legal wrangling over access to Leon Issa's phone began on September 6, when the court granted the police's request for her to allow them access within 48 hours. When that deadline was missed, the lawmen again took the issue to the court last Friday, and the judge issued a new 6-day deadline that day. That was also missed. On January 13, young King was found with his throat slashed and his body slumped on the backseat of his mother's car. She had reported to the police minutes earlier that her car had been hijacked with a child inside. The shocking murder was widely condemned, with the police being urged to bring the boy's killer or killers to justice. Lawmen have steadily maintained that they have met roadblocks while working the case. With gangsters monitoring their phones, residents on edge as hunt for wanted man intensifies. For the past 5 years, the streets leading to 11 miles in Bull Bay, St. Thomas have been largely deserted as fearful residents make a deliberate effort to lock themselves inside their homes, fearful that they could become targets of hits carried out by gangsters, reportedly linked to one of Jamaica's most wanted men, Nesta Bigger Crime Morrison. As she nervously scanned her environment on Friday, one female resident who was visibly in a state of discomfort told the news that the high level of crime in the area has caused many of the youths to move out of the community. Among the few who have remained, she said, is a group of unemployed young men who frequent local bars to drink their sorrows away. The last couple years, we have had a lot of crime here, said the woman, whose name is being withheld by the news to protect her identity, noting that the community was once peaceful and everyone got along. On Thursday evening, she said that 2 helicopters hovering over the community as a detachment of soldiers flooded the area alerted her that something agwan. The Joint Anti-Gang Task Force seized 3 guns and more than 100 rounds of ammunition in that operation as they tried to apprehend Morrison, who still remains on the run. The resident said the first gang-related incident that she could recall was about 5 years ago when men affiliated with Morrison went into a bar one night and killed at least 3 people. Another resident told the news that he has tried to steer clear of the gangsters, especially after returning home from work at night. He said that when residents walk the streets to get home after dark, they do so with trust in God, knowing that anything could happen. Once he said God, everything good, but as you know, everybody would want to be comfortable, he added. Morrison had been linked to several murders committed in the Bull Bay area. Superintendent Alison Byfield, who heads the St. Thomas Police Division, told the news on Friday. She said that he is considered highly dangerous as he drives fear into the communities of 10 and 11 miles, and that his alleged criminal operations went as far east as Yallas and into Landu with St. Thomas on some occasions. He walks around with an AK-47 rifle and a handgun, Byfield said, adding that this, along with his trademark of shooting individuals in the face, were among things making him especially dangerous. Most of the hits for the gunshots are to the face, damaged beyond recognition, she said. Byfield said that Morrison held the various communities in his fearful grip by threatening locals and, in some instances, allegedly even going to the extent of illegally tapping their cell phones to find out whether they are speaking to law enforcement authorities or any outside source. Morrison, who is reported to be originally from 10 miles in an area known as a ball ground, is wanted for a 2020 shooting in which a cop was injured. The police officer was on an operation in the 11 miles area and was allegedly approached by Morrison and other gunmen. The incident is one of many in which he either features as the main suspect or a person of interest. 47-year-old farmer suspected of committing suicide in St. Elizabeth. The St. Elizabeth police are probing a suspected case of suicide involving a farmer at Warminster on Thursday night. Police named the deceased as 47-year-old Jerome Mullings, a resident of Warminster near Neen in the parish. A police report said about 10 p.m., passerby found Mullings' body hanging by a rope from a tree. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue, the police said. Opposition votes against the SOEs despite pleas. Opposition People's National Party senators on Friday soundly rejected the government's all-out plea for one vote from that side, denying the two-thirds majority that was needed in the upper house in order to extend the state of emergency across 7 parishes for 46 more days. The debate ended with all 8 opposition senators voting no against the government's 13 ayes. I am asking for one vote. I am asking for the ability of our security forces to use the constitutional powers granted to them. I am asking about the power that your oath has given you and the lives that you can save. I hope we can count on one vote together with ours, urged the leader of government business in the upper house, Kamina Johnson-Smith, towards the end of the heated debate, which went on for hours. Opposition senators made it clear throughout the sitting that the one vote was not to come. Senator Damon Crawford told the Senate that having given multiple yeses today is a definite no, while Government Senator Matthew Samuda pointed out that Jamaica has a murder rate 8 times the global average and 3 times the regional average. As an adult, I have never known an absolute murder number in Jamaica less than 1,000. It is also that the way we have implemented this measure and used this tool available to us in the Constitution has saved their lives. It is so painfully obvious that this is required, Samuda stressed. We are asking the members of the opposition to listen to what the people of Jamaica want. In her argument, Government Senator Natalie Rodriguez Campbell said for senators it would be audacious to go against the people whose will on the issue has been conveyed through members of parliament. How dare us who were appointed go against that? We are basically saying we know better than the people of Jamaica, and we also know better than the head of the JDF and the JCF. What has made us think that we know better than all those people? I can't in good conscience challenge what is asked of us by the security forces of this country, she stated. Furthermore, she said, I urge those who are so fervent in their belief that personal feelings are more important than saving lives to be bold, be strong, and let history remember that you voted against it. Don't walk out of here early today so that you're recorded as absent. Sit in that chair and vote no. Let history remember you for who you are. Don't blame the opposition. The failure of a state of emergency to exist belongs on the government side. All 8 of us will be here when the vote comes, Senator Lambert Brown retorted, and all 8 of us will resoundingly say no, so you can prepare your next speech. Because where the shame belongs is on the government, who has the power under the Constitution to reimpose a state of emergency next week when this one fails for lacking of 2/3 majority. Senator Brown said the provision for detention without a warrant, among others, were of particular concern, as well as the fact that there was no mention of the right to counsel when persons are held. They're not going after the Dons, they're not going after the 300 violence producers, he argued. Calling for unity, Senator Don Webby of the government side, in a brief intervention, also pleaded for one opposition vote. I'm therefore asking at least one opposition senator to vote yes so that we can save lives. Senator Peter Bunting, leader of opposition business and a former national security minister, pointed out that in the 2011 debate on the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, the SOE procedure was considered a last line of defense to protect the state against the subversion of the constitutional order of demographic governance, not a routine measure. He emphasized that what the opposition's contention is that certain conditions must exist both upon the declaration and on every extension of the SOE. We have no say on the declaration, but on the extension we have a say. Even if the conditions exist upon the declaration, but the SOE is successful, but upon the renewal those conditions no longer exist, then the opposition should not support an extension, he said, pointing to the government's declaration of the success of SOEs over the years. So that would mean that even if the circumstances exist upon the declaration, the circumstances would not exist now upon this request for extension. He said the opposition believes there can be much more targeted legislation to fight crime, the framework for which leader Mark Golding will make public. Belfield High principal dismisses demon possession rumors. Principal of Belfield High School in Manchester, Paul Grant, is rejecting claims of demonic possession at the school after some students suffered panic attacks on Friday morning. In an interview with the news, Grant explained that 10 children experienced the panic attacks, 3 of whom fainted. The incident occurred on the 5th form block approximately 9:05 a.m. while classes were in session. Grant said one student has communicated that she did not have breakfast that morning. Based on our understanding, it would have been a panic attack. We did not see anybody attacked, frothing from the mouth, eyes rolling over. They were just weak, they were hot, he explained. Grant further clarified that the 5th form block was built using shipping containers, which tend to retain heat. Grant said he suspects that the stress of finalizing school-based assessments could have caused the panic attacks. He said classes resumed as usual, but 5 of the parents who were contacted took their children home early. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.